Besides me, you'll see I've got two high-end race helmets. They're both equally good for road / mountain bike. We've got the POC Octal Mips and the Smith Overtake Mips. So I've been riding these for quite a bit of time now, and I've got a few thoughts and considerations about them. I'm going to start with the POC. When it first came out, it was used by the Garmin Sharp team, and there was a bit of grumblings because it had fairly polarising looks for the road crowd at the time, but since then it's been fairly well accepted. This is their new model, which has been updated with a Mips liner. For those of you that are a bit unfamiliar with what a Mips liner is, it's like a friction layer that sits inside of the helmet, and it moves slightly to stop what they call oblique rotational forces to the brain. That basically means that when you crash, there's a bit of give in the Mips liner, which hopefully should make you safer. This helmet's actually pretty light, around 250 grams. This is a medium / large, and seeing it's got the Mips liner as well, that's an incredibly light helmet for what looks like a pretty big, bulky helmet. But when you pick it up, yeah, it's always a surprise when people pick it up because it's a seriously light lid. The temple area, it's slightly thicker to kind of increase protection around a very exposed area around there, and it also sits quite deep in my head, so it's quite a kind of confidence inspiring helmet compared to other helmets which have a more shallower fit. This isn't a good or a bad thing, but it's just more to do with the size of your head and which helmets fit you the best. So if you find that some helmets sit too high, then maybe the POC would be a really good helmet for you. When you're riding this helmet, this is on the road, and especially on mountain bikes when you're in the summer, you're really going to notice the large vents. If you suffer from heat, and you often find your head's throbbing from the heat when you're going up climbs and during the summer and stuff like that, this is a great helmet because the ventilation, I've never used another helmet which has as good ventilation as this basically. Another really well thought out feature, and I'm going to have to put it on to show you this, is the straps. As you can see there, instead of 2 bits of material that join at the ear splitter, it's actually 3 bits. So you've got 2 bits going down there and 1 bit going down there. Doesn't look like much, but I've never tangled these, and it's a really kind of comfortable feeling when you wear it. Those ear splitters, they don't touch your ear or anything like that, and it goes a long way to justify the cost, I think. If you like to ride with eyewear, sunglasses, POC have you covered there. They've got what they call their eye garage. So there's 2 large vents, and you can see there's small black rubber grippers which the glasses grip onto quite well. So POC, nice. Now we're going to move on to the Smith Overtake Mips. This is another high-end helmet. It's got the same Mips liner, but that's definitely where the similarities end. Before I go into the marketing claims made by Smith, it's worth talking about the fit of this helmet compared to the Octal. It's a lot more shallower helmet. It's a very comfy helmet, much like the POC, but it sits a lot higher on my head, and when I wear it, it feels like there's a kind of a bigger gap at the back of my head, and it's not quite as confidence inspiring as the POC. Again, this isn't a good or a bad thing because it just depends on the size and shape of your head. Smith call this aero core construction, and it features their coil rod liner. It's kind of like a honeycomb structure, and Smith claim that this is going to increase airflow whilst increasing impact absorption as well, so more protective and hopefully cooler. So what is this like to ride? Well, as you can see, there's not much space for air to get in through the honeycomb structure. I didn't necessarily feel like I was hot, but there's definitely very little sensation of air flowing through the helmet. If you dip your head down forward, you do get a bit through the top. So when you're riding with your head up, looking down the trail or looking down the road. But these front ones here, there's hardly any air is going to flow through that. And if I turn it around, you should be able to see there that the pads and the Mips liner even block off those front channels. So if you suffer in the heat, I'd struggle to recommend this helmet because I think although I wasn't boiling hot, I definitely didn't feel as much air flowing through it. And it's also worth mentioning that I've been testing both of these helmets during the autumn time in Great Britain, so it's not warm. With this one, I definitely wouldn't want to wear a cap with it because I think you'd just overheat because you'd just be getting no airflow. Being an optics specialist, Smith also sent us out some of their very nice matching Pivlock Arena Max sunglasses, but we once again came into a bit of a problem when using them with the helmet. Because the Overtake Mips doesn't have any kind of large holes to put the glasses into, like the POC has its eye garage. I'll show you how the Smith works. The glasses, turn them upside down, and they clip pretty neatly into 2 channels there. On the road it works okay, but mountain biking, these channels aren't as secure as putting them into vents. So I often found that after only a few minutes of riding, these would start to rattle like that. For me, it wasn't as good as the POC with their eye garage, where you can slide glasses neatly into deep vents inside the helmet. So it kind of sounds like I didn't like the Smith, but you've got to kind of admire them for trying something different. It's a totally different looking helmet to anything else. The construction's different. It's kind of really close to being a great helmet, but it just needs a few modifications. So at the minute it's good, but it's not quite, I think, as good as it could be. So if I had to spend my own money, and it'd be a lot of my own money because I think it's one of the most expensive helmets money can buy, it would be definitely the POC. It's a super premium lid, but you can justify where that cost has gone because it's a truly different helmet, and there seems to be a few neat features: the straps, the different fit, the large vents, the fact that the helmet feels good when you're wearing it because it's quite big, but at the same time it's really light. So you can see hopefully where that development and the cost has gone. So if you can stump up the cash, this is one of the best helmets I've ever used, and I'd thoroughly recommend it.